Welcome to Chasing Impact, Not Sales, where heart meets hustle, strategy meets service, and selling feels good again. I'm your host, Mandy Minatello. Let's go. Hey, welcome back to Chasing Impact, Not Sales podcast. I am your host, Mandy Minatello, and I want to share with you a little insight about vision and the importance of vision when it comes down to sales teams and sales success and team success. And this all comes from a conversation that I had. I was talking with a COO, and they were asking my insight or my opinion, or advice, if you will, about a sales rep that they had. In their company, who was repeatedly failing to meet quota by a significant amount. And the question was, what would you do about it? And I truly believe that he expected the response to be kind of a hard strategy to get to an exit plan for this person based on, numbers and all of that. And yes, that could be the end result. Absolutely. But that's not where I start with a struggling, rep, or someone who's just not meeting the quota. And when I responded to this COO, I think I took him quite by surprise. And I hope that it brought a new perspective, because I think that the ownership of struggle does need to be felt by the rep, and believe me, it does. The sales teams that I have managed, consulted with, and even sat on, we're very aware of the numbers and when we're not meeting the numbers. And a good sales rep wants answers, right? They want help. They welcome help. They welcome coaching. They welcome that just sort of new perspective. But usually the person who does not feel the ownership are those that sit in the owner's box, right? And by that, I mean the COO, the founders of the company. I mean, CEO, excuse me, maybe the COO and the founders of the company. And what I mean by that is that, to me, team success, and of course, we're talking specifically about sales teams, but this spills over to all silos in a business. When you're talking about marketing, you're talking about ops, you're talking about product development, you're talking about all of it. All of it is going to see more success if they share ownership of the vision of the company. And so that is really where I start when I am training new sales reps, or I'm auditing current sales reps for a company that I'm coming in to help out, or I'm evaluating teams, to give them new perspective. Where I start is not delving into the numbers and the prospects and the leads. I will get there. There is definitely a place. But where I start, the first question I ask of these sales professionals is, do you know the vision of the company? Do you know where the company started? Do you know why the company was started? Do you know when the company was started? Do you know where the CEO or the founder, the owner, the originator wants this company, sees this company, envisions this company being in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, maybe 10 years? Where does this company need to be in the next 6 months in order to be at that place in a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? If a sales professional cannot answer those questions, how do you expect them to sell that product, that service? They might be doing their absolute level best, but think of how much better they can be if they feel aligned and potentially, dare I say it, sharing in the ownership of the trajectory of that company because they share in the ownership, the values, the origination, that origin story of where that company has come from and why. When you talk to the founder of a company and you ask them about the, scrappy beginnings of where they come from, they light up to tell you. Most of them are like, oh my goodness. And they have this amazing story because they're uniquely positioned to solve this problem in the marketplace that comes from something unique in their own personal story, background, and journey. Now imagine if they're able to share that, to transfer that passion, that feeling to all of the people who sit in the seats of the future of their business, whether that is a small team of, 2 to 5, or that is a giant team of 500 to 5,000. If everybody understands and can have appreciation for the beginning of that company and has an understanding and a responsibility and a feeling of how their role ties in to the future of that company, where that vision will lead in the next few years. Now you've got, when we're talking about a sales team, you've got more than a rep who's responsible for numbers. You've got, at the very least, a brand ambassador that fully understands the history and the trajectory of that brand and can feel aligned with that brand. And at most, you've got someone who now kind feels almost a co-ownership and a responsibility and an ability to lean completely into that story and use it when talking with potential clients, potential customers, and current customers and clients. It also gives them, on the other hand, the opportunity to see maybe they don't align. When you understand the origin story and the trajectory, the history and the future of a business, you have that unique opportunity to decide if this is the rocket ship you want to strap yourself to. And in some cases, it may not be. In some cases, you don't align. I have been there when I see where a company is going and I think, I really don't think I want my name attached to that. I don't want my reputation attached to that. And even if I try to stay attached to that and I'm in a sales role now, because there is this moral misalignment, I can't perform at my best. When you feel something in your heart, you don't come out as authentic. This is why that earned confidence is so important on sales teams, because when you feel that earned confidence, when you feel that values alignment, when you feel that moral responsibility to improve the world through the products, the services that you're offering, it exudes from every pore. But the opposite is also true. When you are misaligned and you do not feel co-ownership and you don't feel pride in what it is that you're talking about, the products or services that you're selling, you don't feel that, then that also comes through. And so, this first conversation with a sales team that may not be stacking the numbers the way that you want them to. The first conversation being about the vision of the company. Do you understand it? Do you know it? Do you know where the company has started and where it's going? And are you wanting to be strapped to that rocket ship? Are you excited to be part of that? That is the first conversation. Once you've established that, once that is there, once you've lit the fire or built the fire, fueled the fire, or seen that there isn't a fire, now you can look at the numbers. Now you can look at what support this sales team member needs. Do they need more training? Do they need, a look at KPI metrics? Do they have an idea of the qualifications? All of those things, but you want to start at the foundation. You want to start at the vision. So I speak now to the CEOs, the COOs, the founders, all of you. Have you shared? Have you shared with your whole team? Not just your sales team, your marketing team. Imagine how this affects your marketing, your ads campaigns, your go-to-market strategy, if everyone is on the same page with the history and the future. Imagine how this feels different if you're in customer service roles, if you feel this just passion and enlightenment for what you're doing. Sharing the vision, the purpose, the history and the future and all of it, the dreams and all of it with your company can do nothing but raise raise the ceiling for everybody's opportunity, for everybody's success in every lane. So if you have not shared your vision or it's been a while, use this time. It's the end of the year. It's the perfect time. People are kind of reflecting over what's happened this year and preparing for what's happening next year. This is a great time to get your staff together. You can do it in departments if it's really big. You can do it on a big Zoom and do kind of just a regeneration, or you can do it one-on-one or however. But start with your vision. There's so many books out there, like it all starts with why, you know that. And this is why so many companies that I come in to help haven't gotten past founder-led sales. And that's because it's easiest for the founder to sell because they still have that passion. Now they still have that passion. They're the only ones sometimes who have that passion. They're calling on that. And it's real easy to sell something that you feel compelled and called to share with the world. So arm your sales team with that same toolbox. Give them the artillery that you have, right? So that they can come fully equipped, fully ready to share that passion with the world, with the clients who need it most. And yes, like you're going to take a look at the metrics, you're going to take a look at the quota. You've got all those things to meet. Yes, that's the answer that the gentleman that I was speaking to expected. And yes, there may be an exit strategy down the road if they cannot meet basic expectations. I'm not Pollyanna. That is, it's a given. But start with the mind and the mindset behind what they're coming to the table with, and give them the equipment that they need to be a brand ambassador, to be a visionary for your business, and see where it goes from there. Because sometimes We just need to be reminded of why we're here, that purpose, that conviction, that impact we're making. And sometimes that one conversation is enough to light the whole path ahead. So have that conversation and have fun with that conversation, because there's nothing better than sharing your vision and creating real impact. Let's go. Thanks for listening to Chasing Impact, Not Sales. If this episode sparked something, share it, subscribe, and remember, real sales come from real service. Keep chasing impact.